All right, let's go. Raw, unfiltered, and edited. So, we're basically on day 5 of running Facebook ads to get eCom Shopify owners to book a call. And I'll show in a second here the results from today, which, spoiler alert, they are horrible. Meaning that it's a Sunday, so maybe people not as active, right? But yeah, the cost per click is around $15. But it can happen, right? Basically, yesterday there were around 2 or 3 leads, and now basically just 2 clicks for the entire day, right? And I think it spent around $30. So we'll switch the camera in a second here, but let me share some of the thoughts right now, just because basically when you're spending money, right, daily, it depends a lot. It depends a lot on how you think about it, right? Meaning that, for example, you could either let's say go out and entertain yourself, or invest that same money in your business, in your personal brand, in more attention, right? So it's always about choosing what you do with your time, resources, and so on. And truth be told, not everyone is running ads, right? And even myself right now, I'm using such a small amount, right, of capital for this. It's $50 a day, or $40, depending on how much it spends. But it's a fairly small amount, right? But it can actually get you decent results over time, right? Because it's all about having attention, right, top of the funnel, and then actually getting people through the funnel, right? Especially if you have a good service, because you also need a good service, right? Every business should have a good service. If we talk about dentists, right, or Facebook ads agency, email marketing agency, no matter what you have, right? All businesses have, let's say, the same process more or less. You need leads, you need some nurturing, so at least them knowing what you do, then seeing that you are, let's say, an expert with more experience, less experience. It all depends on how you actually portray it, right? Because honestly, like nowadays, I'm starting to see more and more that the Facebook ads services that are out there are trash, right? And sometimes it's not necessarily because someone is not capable, but you have to do different things for different services. And for example, with Facebook ads, you have some days like the weekend when you can get disproportionate results, meaning that if you also work or pay attention to the ads on Saturday and Sunday, you don't get 25% more, right? Or 20%, depending on how much how many additional days it has, right? Because think like this, the year has 365 days, right? And there are 52 weeks, 52 weekends, and there are 2 days in the weekend, right? So that comes to around 104 days total. So basically you get over 25% more, right? In terms of time allocated, you actually probably get much more, just because during the weekend no one really bothers you. So you get disproportionate results if you put in the time during those days as well. You don't have to, and it all depends on how you structure things, right? Because it's not like you have to check ads every minute, every hour, right? I don't do that either. But if you do it 2 times a day, right? This is like a pro tip here, because honestly, it's not like you have to do so much except look at the data, and with all the context that you have from past clients, from that brand, from an agency, for whatever you're running ads for, right? With all of that context, you can take some decisions that are disproportionate, as I said, because during the weekend, sometimes you don't get 25% more or 40% more, you get 50% more, right? Because some people just buy during the weekend more, and it depends on the niche and so on, right? So as you can see with Shopify owners, they might not be on Instagram, Facebook right now. They might be chilling, right? Each with their own. But yeah, let me share real quick what's happening in the ad account. And if you haven't seen the previous days, I would highly suggest it, especially day number 4, so yesterday, because that's when there were actually a few leads. And actually, today I have a call at almost midnight my time in Europe with someone. I don't think they are a qualified lead, but also not everything has to be a short-term transaction, right? Meaning that you do get to build relationships, and who knows, maybe this guy will have a Shopify store that will make millions in, who knows, maybe 1 year, or yeah, you never know, right? So we'll see. Anyway, let's switch the camera and look real quick in the ad account. Okay, so we're in the ad account. So let me select today here. As you can see, I hope it's focused. All right, so we have one campaign, then 2 ad sets. One of them is sending to the instant form here on Meta. And then the other is sending to a Calendly link, right? So let me actually zoom in. All right, just so you can see better. And let me show you what happened yesterday, first of all, right? Better to look at results for every day. And as you can see, yesterday, almost $50 in ad spend, one Facebook lead here, another here, and one person who basically went to the Calendly link, right? So directly through the Calendly link. As you can see, there is a difference here, and I think it's mainly because the ads are just better in here from what I've seen. Honestly, I'm not sure why this is turned off. Let me actually turn it on because I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And let me check the other as well. All right, so we have everything in here. The ads, I showed them last time, nothing fancy, a Shopify screenshot, and then basically some copy over it. And we'll see if we have to improve that as well. So actually 2 Facebook leads in here, as you can see. So quite some activity yesterday. And let's look at the cost per click. So 6.21. Yep, this is not necessarily cheap, right? But actually having 4 leads, one of them wasn't relevant at all. So that's that. But still, here we do have some good results, I would say. And today, let's look. So yeah, just 2 clicks, 7.58 at this point. Yeah, just because we have to. Earlier, there was just one. So that's why I mentioned it was 15. But yeah, this one seems to already be into active and this one into learning. Honestly, this is not a big deal from what I've noticed, because sometimes you don't get, let's look, 50 conversions, right? So this one didn't even get 50 conversions. So it's just Meta playing around with what you need to do. But yeah, CPMs, I think they need to be higher for this type of audience. And let's look real quick, just out of curiosity, if we select the maximum period. Something that I often check is the demographics. So the person who actually booked seems to be between 25 44. Honestly, not surprised because this is also my age group. And then amount spent, all right, so between these ages, which does make sense. And I do have to mention, I actually put a hold here. Let me see, should I move this a little so you can see? So as you can see, I actually put a hard stop at 55, if I'm not mistaken, just because I do believe the main audience would be around here, at least for this type of ads. So that's pretty much it. Let's look at the platforms real quick. I think it's Instagram. All right, so as you can see, the result was actually from Facebook. So at the same time, the spend is in majority on Instagram, which I'm not surprised, but yeah, seems like the result came from Facebook. Not statistically significant, so not taking any decisions based on this, but yeah, just interesting to see. All right, and let's switch the camera. Okay, so we're back, and as you've seen, nothing much happening today, but you have to expect this, right? Sometimes things just don't move at all, right? It's just like with that example with compounding in general. it's slow in the beginning and then it comes pouring, right? It's that saying, when it rains, it pours, meaning that sometimes you might get 3 leads a day, sometimes 0, right? And that's okay. That's how randomness business works, but you just have to be consistent, right? Same with outreach, same with everything. And actually, I was just having here a conversation on Slack about having an appointment setter starting next week, because like you just need to have as much of you out there as possible, right? Like people have to find out about you. You can have the best service, right? But if no one knows about you, then it's useless. So it's just about putting in the work, and eventually, of course, you'll see the results, right? Because I mean, even getting to this point where there is enough cash flow to invest in paid ads, in an appointment center, and so on, like it does take some time, but you also need to put in the work, right? So it's a mix. But no deep thoughts today, I guess, except the fact that if you work on weekends, of course, you'll get ahead much faster. So that's a hack for anyone who wants to move faster. But I would say that's pretty much it for today. Not making it way longer than it should be. And basically, see you tomorrow, because this is a daily vlog, let's call it. And today we're just on the 5th of January, and we'll do this for the entire January, maybe even until February. So we'll have to see. If you have anything to share, just leave it in the comments, and basically see you next time.